Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's question comes from a house cleaner who is livid. She's super upset because she spent 4 hours at a customer's house, and when she was done, the customer was not happy. The customer refused to pay her, and she was very upset about the way the house cleaner cleaned. So the house cleaner comes away. She's all ticked off. She's angry. It's the customer's fault. The customer ruined my day, this, that, and the other, and she's very defensive. Okay, so when this happens, the question from this woman is, what am I supposed to do now? Can I take her to small claims court because I threatened her? Okay, so what I want you to consider is this. As a business owner, you have a lot of options. And because you chose a service business, you're going to run into a lot of unhappy customers along your journey. I don't know why, but there are a lot of different types of customers that are out there. There are a lot of different personalities that are out there. And a person yelling at you does not necessarily mean that you did a bad job. It's very possible that they just got in a fight with their spouse. You just happened to walk through the room and they took all that out on you. A lot of times it doesn't have anything to do with you whatsoever. And once the dust settles and that person is able to collect their thoughts, it might be a different scenario where they come back and they apologize and they pay you. I don't know. But there will be a whole bunch of opportunities for customer service in the house cleaning business. So having said that, think of it as a ball game. A customer is angry and they toss you a ball. What do? Do you catch the ball or do you step aside and let the ball fly right by you? That's the question, and here's why. If you catch the ball, you have choices. You can hold on to it and think, okay, this customer is really angry. How am I going to resolve this? You can toss it right back to them and say, hey, wait a second. I offer a satisfaction guarantee. Let me come back and make the job right. Or you can take the ball and you can spin it and you can play with it and you can walk it over to a neighbor and say, hey, I need some advice. What do I do here? But as long as you've caught that ball, you're in control. If you step aside and you let it fly by you, that ball flies right by you and it hits the ground. When it hits the ground, you no longer have control of the situation, and neither does your customer. If somebody throws something at you, you have a choice to catch it. My suggestion to you is always choose to catch that ball, because once you catch it, you're still in control, right? If you let it fly by you, you're not in control at all, and neither is your customer. So when you have a customer type of scenario, catch the ball. Okay, now what do you do with the ball once you have it? Well, because you have the ball, you're in control. And so you can go back to the customer and say, hey, listen, I know you're not happy. I don't want to see you unhappy because I'm a business owner. I base my living off of my reputation. And so I want you to have an excellent customer experience. What do I have to do to make this situation correct? And you can give them an option. You can throw the ball back at them. You can have them help you be part of the solution. Or if they're not willing to talk and they're just really upset and they're not thinking clearly, you can come back and say, here's what I'm prepared to do. And you can offer solutions. But you can do that as long and only as long as you're holding the ball. If you're in control of the situation, you get to choose what happens next. If you let the ball fly by you, you don't get to choose. This is not your game anymore. The game has stopped. And so between you and the customer, you either get fired or the customer badmouths you on social media or whatever. Now, we live in a world where everything you say can last for infinity, thanks to the internet and social media and screenshots and sharing and all these things. Those are the things that promote you, and those are the things that bring you down. So you have a choice. Always choose to catch the ball. Okay, now let's say that you get in a situation where the customer's really upset and you're really upset. Stop. Take a really deep breath. I invite you all to take a really deep breath. Get the oxygen flowing to your brain. And then when you are able to slow down long enough, you can start thinking through your options. When you stop, take a couple of steps back. Remove yourself from the big picture. And as you look back on this scenario, what do you see? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to someone from a different culture? Because if you are, you grew up in two separate parts of the world. You grew up with two different sets of beliefs. You grew up with two different sets of ideals. how on earth is it that you expect that you're going to see eye to eye? There are some common discrepancies between people. Are you speaking to someone who's twice your age? Because if you are, you're speaking to someone who has a whole lot more life experience than you do. And so how would you expect to see eye to eye if there's a 30-year age gap between you and the person that you're speaking with? You come from two completely different generations. Of course, there's going to be a discrepancy. That's just the common law of nature, right? So if you can take a step backwards and say, wow, wait a second, this customer is seeing something I'm not seeing. You can choose to be informed and say, hey, listen, my generation doesn't understand what this is that you're telling me. Can you explain it to me so as a business owner, I now can move forward with the information you're sharing with me? Because it might be true that a particular generation had a particular work ethic, and a younger generation doesn't have that same work ethic. And so if they can explain that to you and they can explain to you what their expectations are, it's possible that you can incorporate the things that they share with you, and you can toss that ball back and stay in business. And not just toss the ball back to them, but to the other customers that are from that same generation. Does that make sense? You want to always choose to be informed. When someone comes to you and they're angry, this is going to sound really counterintuitive, but when someone comes to you and they're angry, this is an opportunity for you to expand your horizons. There are so many different people in the world, so many different personalities, so many different generations and different upbringings and different cultures. There's so much as business owners we can learn. And if you choose to use that as an opportunity to learn and improve, it could take your business so far above the other people that you're competing with in your marketplace. They're like, well, it's not my fault. She's a bad customer. I'm just going to leave and walk away. No, don't leave and walk away. Jump in the line of fire and catch that ball. Go back to the customer and say, hey, listen, you're not happy. I don't like it when you're not happy. Can you share with me how I can fix this and make this right? And learn from that opportunity. Because if you catch that ball and you learn from that opportunity, this could skyrocket your business. Now, I get the fact that you were mistreated. I get the fact that you didn't get paid. But this is like you going to college, except you don't have the college expense. You lost whatever the price was of that house cleaning because she didn't pay you, right? So that was an investment in your learning. This is the school of hard knocks. And so that was the fee of admission for this lesson. Most of the lessons are free, but every once in a while you got to ante up some money, and this was one of those scenarios. So don't look at it as like, well, I lost the money and it's the customer's fault and I'm all angry and all these things. Don't do that, because when you do that, you're stepping aside and you're letting that ball fly right by you. And now the game is over. You learned nothing, you're not in control, and you lost the customer. All right, so that's my tip for today. I hope that helps just a little bit. Please keep me posted. Let me know how this works out, because I am interested and I do want to hear the ending to this interesting story. All right, and until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.